Hello, and welcome to this video on how to use ANR Online Grants and Contracts form. This training video will show you, as a vendor, how to use the ANR Online Grants and Contracts form. This video is assuming that you have already registered for ANR Online. For instructions on how to register, please go to anronline.vermont.gov, and there you'll see instructions on how to register, as well as a link to ANR Online training videos. And one of those training videos is how to register for ANR Online. The ANR Online Grants and Contracts form was created so vendors who have either a contract or a grant with the Department of Environmental Conservation can submit their invoices online rather than through an email. There will also be written training available for vendors to use with this form. To use the form, first open up your web browser and type in anronline.vermont.gov. That'll bring you to the main landing page of ANR Online. Next, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, select Sign In. The user ID and password should be the values that you entered previously while registering. When you're done entering that information, click OK. Next, to find the Grants and Contracts Invoicing form, on the left side of your screen, select Form Finder. In this search bar in the middle, you can type in Grants and Contract. Down below, the Granted Contract Invoices form will be highlighted. Select the title. And that will bring you directly to the form. The landing page for the form will have instructions on how to use the form, frequently asked questions, as well as contact information should you need it. Let's go through a sample submission. To begin, type in your grant or contract number. Then select Begin Form Entry. What shows up is the form itself. You'll see there are 4 sections to the form, pretty brief. The first is the granted contract details. This will be where the majority of the information will be entered. The first thing that shows up is the granted contract number, followed by the granted contract name, the grantee or contractor name, the award amount, the amount remaining, amount invoiced, the end date for the granted contract. This is all basic information that you should first review before you actually begin submission. So the first field you need to fill out is the amount of invoice being submitted. Let's do $1,000. This will be invoice number 1, followed by the date. And then there is a yes/no option if this is the final invoice being submitted. You can add any comments if you so choose. Below is the milestone table, which should agree to the milestone table that is in your grant or contract agreement. There are instructions for completing the milestone table. So for this particular invoice, let's say I'm submitting $500 here. And I'm also submitting for something that's not shown in this invoice table. If that is the case, I would select yes here. And then these 2 boxes would appear. As soon as I've completed all these fields, We'll click on the blue bar down here, next section. And that will bring me to my attachments. It is required that a Form 430 or contract invoice be attached to every submission. This must be in a PDF format. You can either select Choose File and select a file from your computer, or you can drag and drop a file to upload. There's also an option for the grantee or contractor to upload a deliverable documentation, but this is not a requirement. When I've finished uploading my attachments, I will select the next section down below. And in this section, it's basically just a general review of all sections that we've done so far. If everything looks satisfactory, all you need to do is select the next section, Certified Submit, and then select Finalize Submission. And I'll get this Submission Complete dialog box. You should also be receiving an email from BT ANR Online Services informing you that your submission is complete. Please note this submission number. This is the unique identifier that we can use to reference the submission later if there are any issues with it. You can either print a confirmation of the submission, you can view the submission again, or you can return to home. So now that we've successfully made our first submission, if you want to later view that submission or perhaps make an edit to it, you'll go up to the top of the screen here and click on History. This history page will show you all of the submissions that have been made with the user that's currently logged in. You'll see here in this column status. Once it has been deemed complete, that means that it has gone through DEC's internal approval process and that payment is being processed, and you can no longer make edits to the submission. However, if it is in submitted status, if you need to make a submission, you can click on this magnifying glass, the View button. And that will open up your submission. To make edits to the submission, this blue bar here on the right side of the screen will click Edit Submission. And you'll see it's the submission we had previously done with all the information that we previously entered. Perhaps I typed in the wrong invoice number. This is actually invoice number 30. We'll go through all your sections. It'll still include that attachment you'll have. Once we've done our review again, we'll certify and submit, and then submit again. You'll see that it uses the same submission number. However, this is the third revision that I've made to this particular submission. And that's it. You've successfully submitted a granted contract invoice through ANR Online.